Guys, in this video, I want to talk about the books that I've read in 2025, and I kind of try to organize them into the, let's say, folders. First of all, let's talk about the everything all related stuff. That's basically novels, but I do have this emotional pull to read the law investigation, crime, and etc. That's why the first and very most novel that's gonna be about the uh, investigation of children death civil action, which is based on the real life event. But yeah, that's deep and profound, I would say. And lawyers can gain a lot of insight from that. Also, sometimes how the personality of a lawyer actually affects on the case. Okay, and the second one, that's about the forensic psychologist. The Killer's Mind, How to Read the Killer's Mind. Is actually based on the. I love the that that the novel is very descriptive and that's why it's so easy to read. And the second and the third. Okay, then the second category is gonna be maybe about the more classic novels. That's the okay, my one of my favorite one, it's the picture of Dorian Gray, Oscar Wilde's, and I love everything about him, about his way of delivering something, his style. The classical Russian literature, it's the Anna Karenina, which I would say I like more. This novel I like more from the point of the Levin rather than Anna Karenina, and if I would had named this novel, I would say Levin because I don't know, maybe I'm old enough or get already. This novel come to my mind, come to life from the completely different perspective, or maybe the author dedicated a lot of pages and chapters to the Levin's. I like his way of just being human and going through his own obstacles and staying human, and that's very deep and profound from the point of Lemon and from the point of Anna. Yes, that's simply, I wouldn't say pathetic to say that I enjoy Bulgako's work way more than the I that's incomparable things, and I'm not trying to compare it to others. I don't know. That's just a personal issue. That's it. And the third one, this is semi-psychological books. That's the about. Here I want to talk about the works of the Brianna Wiest. I hope I'm not quite sure about the pronouncing her names, but I really think that's the right way. But her first novel, The Mountain Is You, that one that I've come across accidentally, and I've read everything about self-sabotage, and I was wow, so shocked because everything was kind of about me. It was especially the self-diminishing part, why we hold ourselves back, all the conflicting. I had this cognitive conflict inside of my conflicting ideas, conflicting belief systems. Everything was so messed inside of me that she helped me actually to bring clarity into my life. Then consciously, of course, the second stage, I started looking for her works, and that's how I come across the 101 essays that will change the way of thinking. This novel I've spent every morning at work by reading those essays, and I enjoy them because the author shared the same point of view. For example, I've read The Thinking Fast and Slow in 2023 and 2024, and that was, of course, I was very aware about this, our biases or like mental traps that we can go. So actually, do not allow us to see the reality of because of our I don't know personal experience and etc. We can't see the accurate picture of reality. It's how we can simply be aware of them, and that's so deep and profound. Actually, one insight was about them how to stop acting on impulses and how to differentiate your feelings from intrusive feelings from the intuition. And the author clearly states when our intuition works and how it serves us, and compare it to our feelings that's created by our thoughts, and thoughts which might be not the accurate reflection of reality again, and thoughts lead to the feelings, feelings the action, and actions. This is how we get the outcomes of our lives, and that's the point. But most of all, I've read multiple of books like Joe Dispenza's on the work, how to become supernatural, etc. But her language was the most appealing to me, Brianna West. And the third book, I do not remember. I finished that, but I do not remember the content clearly because at the end, I felt that everything about the same thing: how to gain the emotional intelligence and how to let go how to refine our self-vision. Yes, simply how to. We are not the same person that we used to be 7 years ago or 5 years ago, because yes, to that point, I think that, and you know, about the same psychological books, the second book that I've read in 2024, it was about actually homecoming. I do not remember the author, but about the basic cycle that human being goes through, the infantry, then, okay, infant. Being an infant just simply to be in a state of being whenever all the needs of an infant meet by the adults, whether it's parents or guardians, etc. And from the point of toddlerhood, being the toddler until the age of 3, how to be curious, how to stay. Whenever you're a toddler, you're more investigating the outside world, but at the age of 4 and 5, you're investigating what's inside, who you are, etc. And at the age of 7, there is the morality comes out, so what's good, what's bad, and eventually child can see the coherent picture of the world. That was the very also clear and very accurate description of psychological development. But I wouldn't stop right there because even personally, I wouldn't stay there because I have to kind of, I do have this feeling of divinity that it shouldn't stop, like on yourself. It should be huge. It should be like not only this universe, but I do agree with the idea that our mind simply can't grasp the whole majesty of the what's whatever in the universe, and that's why I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't put the human into the center of the whole universe. But yes, but anyway, it's the great work. It's the great, amazing work. So that are very practical and appealing into the human life. How I connected and reconcile my subconscious part with my conscious part, because I also in 2024 one of my favorite authors was the Robert Greene, and I thought, and his works actually, and yeah, I still like, but I do not share his ideas 100%. I do want to believe that there is something pure and profound, and everything depends on your intentions. And okay, that's maybe whenever you read a lot of books, your mind is simply getting clogged with all the, because it's really hard to stay your mind because you're thinking with the pictures, and it's like uh, a lot of thoughts coming simultaneously at the same time, and you simply don't have time to say them out loud, all of them. That's how to gain self-confidence and handle public speaking. That's the not the accurate title of the book, not literally, but it's something about the public, how to handle public speaking and feel yourself confident during that. Practical, handful advices, insights. The one idea that I like about that was the reverse power. And if you want to during your speech you have to share what's your personal thoughts, ideas, what you believe into, what your heart is into, because that's the goal, and you shouldn't stop there. It's not about reading the book and going and telling the content of the book, but rather than gaining the reverse power. Whenever your speech, your knowledge is allows you to speak for 3 and for 5 hours, but you had only 6 minutes to speak. You have to sort it out the things that makes sense, sort it out, and bring the clearance and how to do knowing your audience. Very practical advices, and I'm not good at it yet, but I will be. I will practice a lot. I will practice public speaking, and next time, before reading a bunch of books simultaneously, oh, I forgot about this. Maybe I have the mental ADHD because the sorrows of Satan, which reminds me the picture of Dorian Gray. Actually, all this, that's the how being human. Most of the times we think we just need one thing, then we suddenly all of a sudden we during the whole of lifetime we there is the time when we always find something new about ourselves. Since now, I promise I won't read multiple books at the same time because eventually I can end up so messed and mentally tired. That's why I didn't take I took one book only, but I left all my books home while I didn't take with myself to the vacation. And here, thanks God, I did not open that. I did not reflect and think. Somehow connect dots and reflect on them a little bit.